To regulate or not to regulate, that is the question. Since cryptocurrencies are supposed to be decentralized and unregulated, what would happen if we do try to regulate them? Let's look at the pros and cons of what happens if crypto gets regulated. Is there anything positive that will flow out of such a situation? Mark Cuban's recent warning, even after the US Senate rejected a bipartisan solution on a crypto tax provision in its $1 trillion infrastructure package, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have risen in recent days. Smaller cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum, Dogecoin and Uniswap have soared even higher. Before the August 9 Senate vote, Mark Cuban, a millionaire entrepreneur and investor, warned that shutting down the Bitcoin and crypto growth engine would be like stopping e-commerce in 1995 because people were terrified of credit card fraud, Cuban said over the weekend to the Washington Post. Or restricting the establishment of websites because some people first thought they were too sophisticated and didn't see what they could ever achieve as part of the bill's fundraising measures. The clause proposes new rules for reporting crypto transactions to the IRS, which may raise as much as $28 billion by promoting the payment of additional taxes. The sector would be thrown into confusion if broadly defined brokers were obliged to submit information on Bitcoin and crypto transfers. The compromise crypto provision in the bill was blocked yesterday after weeks of fighting. Senators Pat Toomey, Republican from Pennsylvania, and Cynthia Lummis, Republican from Wyoming, introduced an amendment to clarify language in the bill that would widen the definition of broker and impose tax requirements on software developers and miners who protect blockchains in exchange for newly minted tokens. In recent weeks, the bill's crypto clause has sent shockwaves across the US cryptocurrency world, with crypto lobbyists racing to change it, and crypto investors, industry professionals and technologists roundly mocking it. The measure has the potential to engulf cryptocurrency transactions in the country with an invasive dragnet, Paolo Arduino, the CEO of Bitfinex, a crypto exchange based in the British Virgin Islands, said in an emailed statement. Balaji Srinivasan, a tech investor and former Coinbase CTO, termed the latest amendment a backdoor Bitcoin prohibition last week, while crypto lobbyist Jerry Brito, executive director of the Coin Center think tank, called it disastrous and stupid. Forcing reporting rules on Americans who develop software and hardware, mine and secure the network, or run nodes to build resilience and efficiencies is an impossible task that will only drive development and operation of this critical technology outside the United States, wrote Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter and Square. What are the pros? Let's look at the pros of cryptocurrency. Control is decentralized. When issues or problems develop, there isn't a single organization that can define or change the Bitcoin blockchain rules at whim throughout the whole network. Since problem solving requires consensus, this helps to prevent the network currency from having a single point of weakness. Yet some syndicates have banded together and appear to be governing the network. Negating this, transaction fees are low. Bitcoin transactions are ideally cost-effective because they do not include services such as dispute resolution, built-in insurance against loss, service and management fees, and other expenses that are commonly included in existing financial systems. Privacy, personal information, and transaction data are secure and free from needless third-party interception. Thanks to privacy in transaction implementation, Bitcoin's decentralized control makes it difficult and time-consuming to fix flaws and breakdowns if things go wrong. Following recent hacking, there will be a lot of voting, quibbling, and mutual agreements before any reversals can be made. Once Bitcoins are sent, the transaction is irreversible. Since the Bitcoin's ownership address is moved to the new owner, it is the new owner's or fraudster's responsibility to restore that stolen money. Bitcoin mining is a long and arduous operation to make Bitcoin effectively and efficiently. One requires application-specific integrated circuits or ASCs that were designed exclusively for mining Bitcoin. Furthermore, as more miners join the network, the difficulty of mining Bitcoin grows. Apart from being inconvenient, it also raises the risk of future supply issues if Bitcoin is widely used because the miner is also the bank. Computer security when mining Bitcoin is decentralized, making them very vulnerable to risk at their place in the block, creating a vulnerability point for fraud and for theft. In comparison to existing systems, the Bitcoin network has a low transaction speed and verification with a maximum of 7 transactions per second at the time of writing this article. Energy usage for Bitcoin. Mining is frequently significant, and the cost of mining Bitcoin in relation to energy expenses is frequently not worth it or provides no return. Bitcoin per block is downloaded every 10 minutes with the present size of 130 gigs or 3.5 terabytes in 10 years. Deflationary and unreliable as a source of economic support. According to the current Bitcoin protocol, the number of Bitcoins that may be mined is limited to 21 million, after which no more can be mined. Converting Bitcoin to liquidity is also a time-consuming and difficult procedure. It's difficult to keep track of when compared to existing monetary systems. This considerably increases secrecy, making it an ideal vehicle for criminal activity, funding and unsavory transactions. Trust for cryptocurrencies. There are no regulations or clear guidelines, procedures or legislation in place, and the area lacks authentic independent analysis, making it difficult for the general public and other stakeholders to adopt it, and much more. Difficult to know where to turn should things go wrong. It's difficult to keep up with the fast-changing industry where new cryptocurrencies appear virtually every week, and it takes time to learn about them all and figure out which ones are legitimate and which are not. Bitcoin, Ripple, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, Monero, or a coin, and many others are among the common cryptocurrencies. People find it difficult to understand the process, which allows many pyramid schemes spring up around it. The majority of third parties dealing with cryptocurrencies are willing to take advantage of the unwary public who wants in on the hottest new thing. Scammers and fraudsters find Bitcoin transactions advantageous since they are irreversible, allowing them to receive cash but not deliver. Furthermore, the majority of the big Bitcoin exchanges run on centralized servers, which means that all of the information for users is held in one spot and is vulnerable to attack on feasibility. Some of the blockchain networks and cryptocurrencies that are getting a lot of attention are still in the early stages of development and haven't been thoroughly tested. In the real world, it's difficult to say whether Bitcoin will ever have a lasting, viable solution given the recent split and likelihood of many more. Controlling mining power offers you political influence within the Bitcoin ecosystem, as it essentially gives you the opportunity to vote on whether or not to accept protocol updates if all of this is concentrated in one location. Will have a centralized effect which is in direct opposition to the decentralized selling point of blockchains and cryptocurrencies. The US government can crack down on cryptos in a few different ways. The most straightforward way for the government to control cryptocurrencies is to tax any fiat money used to purchase a virtual token. The key problem is that this would have to apply to specific tokens, and a cryptocurrency owner could just cash out using another coin. Furthermore, many early adopters and hardliners prefer cryptocurrencies to traditional fiat currencies as a medium of exchange for fundamental goods and services. Currently, cryptocurrencies are subject to the SEC jurisdiction for investment, the CTFC jurisdiction for any offenses involving interstate commerce, and the IRS's jurisdiction for income and capital gains taxes. DSCC has approved 2 Bitcoin futures exchange trading funds, or ETFs, one from CBOE and one from CME, despite the fact had multiple applications have been received, no additional futures exchange traded funds or ETFs have been issued at this time. When it comes to initial coin offerings or ICOs, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) now has the most regulatory authority in the cryptocurrency industry. It recently put an end to its initial coin offering, or ICO, when it was discovered that fraudulent transactions were taking place on the same topic. The CTFC recently issued subpoenas to Bitfinex and Tether, 2 prominent crypto exchanges, after Tether failed to verify over $2.3 billion in reserves. This resulted in a 10% drop in Bitcoin prices for a brief period of time in several countries throughout the world. Proposed legislation is being explored because of fears that cryptocurrency prices are in risk of bursting into a dangerous speculative bubble that might have serious consequences for the country if the prices fall. Whatever your sentiments about the cryptocurrency age, there's no doubt that has the potential to cause significant disruption in global monetary policy. There appears to be hundreds of new cryptocurrencies launched each month, making the regulation of cryptocurrency a cat and mouse game for the foreseeable future. On the other hand, it would be wonderful if we didn't have to rely on particular individuals to make decisions about how we store and spend our money. What's your take on the whole regulation debate? Do you believe cryptocurrencies are the future or just a fad? Is it possible that blockchain is the actual hero in all of this? How would you regulate cryptocurrencies? Let us know the answers to these questions in the comments down below.